world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A strong defense? No. A strong deodorant? Yes. A six-pack of abs? Nope. Six-pack of beer? Yes. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol 21 plus and in select cities. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Welcome to No Question About That. This is the Tactics Show. It's been a while, but I'm here with Dharnish to talk about United versus Villa and a few other things that are going on. How's it going, Dharnish?
Yeah, good. Kind of. Not really. I don't know. I don't know how to feel at this time of year. With everything really. Football, United, because it's a weird time of year, right? Like people don't work for 2 weeks.
True. There's people taking time off, people slacking, pretending they're working, not really doing it, having a bit of Christmas eggnog under the table, desk at work, and then there's tons of football on.
Tons.
Premier League and AFCON. Busy time if you're in the football content business.
It's so busy. The schedule has been like absolutely relentless since like last week. I don't obviously I'm Muslim, so my parents we don't really do anything for Christmas.
Yeah,
so I'll probably just watch Home Alone. But I'm just really looking forward to like not talking to anybody for 2 days, not looking at a football being kicked until of course Boxing Day when we'll have the Bully Boys visit Old Trafford.
Oh dear. Yeah, we'll get onto that in a little bit. Yeah, well, I'm not Christian, but yeah, it's just Christmas is an excuse to give some presents and
spread some joy.
When I was younger, we used to go to the pub, and one of my friends would sing in the choir for midnight mass on Christmas Eve, and so we would heckle him after like 15 pints of beer. Terrible.
Did you throw stuff at him? Please tell me.
No.
You're such a wuss. Why did you throw stuff at him?
There were some very inappropriate comments. I apologise for that. Very bad behaviour. I was young and stupid. Didn't know what I was doing. Honest.
What was the name of the guy? Is he famous like now? Is it like Bruno Mars or Ed Sheeran?
Donald J.
Why would he?
Nothing like that. Just friend. Yeah. All right. Well, we can talk a little bit about Villa 2, United 1. A little strange in that United played pretty well, actually, but lost again, and it's a results business. So, of course, all the chatter afterwards is about what went wrong. But there's a few things we want to talk about. So we're going to talk a little bit about United's pressing. Quite a lot of chat about that. It's working, sort of, aligned to that out-of-possession structure. Doesn't always work, I'd say. Going to talk about what it means with Bruno out, how United might be able to play, how we'll cope with it. It's unclear how long it'll be, but hamstring, muscle, soft tissue could be a while. Kobbie Mainoo's out at the same time. Bad luck for him, I think, given that this would have been his big chance, possibly. And then Martinez at number 6, which we saw for a fair chunk of that game, and he did pretty well. I have some concerns, but we'll talk about all of that. All right, let's start with the pressing, I guess, because it's kind of notable how aggressive United are and how much success they're having with high turnovers this season. So what have you made of it, and especially against Villa?
I thought it was good that, by the way, this Villa are the form team in the league, in the whole league. I think they'd won 8 out of 9 games. So like they were the best.
10 wins in a row or something crazy.
It's 10 wins in a row now. We made it really hard work for them, but I thought that the press was really, really good I was surprised for most of the game. Even towards the end of the game, it was good with all the changes and everything that happened. But basically, the gist was Fernandes on number 44, who was camera for Villa, and Ugarte on number 8, Tielemans for Villa. That basically means if Villa try and funnel the ball through the middle of the pitch, they can't do that because they don't have both of their central midfielders are marked. Now, this is important. The next point that I mentioned, the defense say whoever Villa's centre-back was in the middle, I think it was Victor Lindelof, Šeško is not pressing him. Sometimes he was, but not very intensely. The point of this is you don't press the goalkeeper or the centre-back very fast, because if you do that, you open up space just behind you, and then Fernandes has to push and go forward, or Ugarte has to push and go forward. What United use as a trigger is when it went left or right, they used that. So Cunny would go left or Mount would go right. I think it's the other way. I always get my left and rights mixed up. Whenever that happens, and Villa would try to hit it down the touchline, hey presto, our fullback would push up and press.
Yeah, create the trap.
Right up until Villa's winger. And it worked really well. They scored a goal from it. Cunny was shaking his ass to when he scored that first goal. And we were creating turnovers in the second half as well. The pressing has gotten miles better. I said this after the Brighton game because nobody pointed it out. But Cunha and Mbeumo being in there means that instead of Garnacho, Højlund, and Rashford in there, you have three attackers who are all bad at pressing, apart from Garnacho. Garnacho's okay. To two attackers who have come from Wolves and Brentford, where it's no, you have to be good at possession.
Yeah,
it has to be pressed. It has to be crisp. It has to be tight, and that's what they offer as well as the attacking stuff.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we're second for expected goals, right? So the attacking bit has gone up. It's juiced a little bit by a couple of different results there. We're third in expected points. So the thing that's really killing United is the amount of goals conceded from stupid stuff. And you can point about the Villa, Tottenham, Forest, West Ham, Bournemouth game, Everton, and go, hang on, we should have way more points out of those games.
This is the thing.
And we'd be really near the top of the league if that had happened. But there's flaws in this team, and that's why those mistakes are like, it's not just bad luck. There are flaws in this team. The pressing's been way better. One thing that concerns me, there's the kind of man-to-man press up front, right, as you've noted. And then if that's beaten, they kind of drop back a little bit and the pressure then builds from the opposition. And it's not exactly Ten Hag donut, is it? But it had some echoes of that. And I wonder whether that sort of hybrid approach is a bit of a concern structurally, right? Well, once that bit is beaten, we're in trouble, and you can kind of see teams can get at us, and that back three without De Ligt or Maguire doesn't do the box defending nearly as well as with the two more experienced players in there.
What are your biggest hang-ups with the press? What do you see that's the biggest problems at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's strong first phase, if that's the right way of putting it, and
strong when
phase.
Everybody pushes up,
and then once that's beaten, we're in trouble because there's not enough men in the centre of the park to then it will end up with the opposition having an extra player typically, and then the pressure is on the back three immediately. That's all right when you've got players who like defending, I think. And we give away cheap goals with the younger players in there who are inexperienced, make mistakes. I mean, Heaven and Yoro have a lot of hopes for long term, but I think they've probably both made some stupid mistakes in recent times, and you kind of expect that. What are they, 19 and 20? Yeah, I remember how bad Rio Ferdinand was at 19.
And
classy, and then he had this reputation for making stupid mistakes, and
he wasn't at Man United at the time. I think he was at Leeds as well.
Yeah, well, West Ham, and then he went to Leeds around about that age. West Ham and then
Leeds. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, West Ham, Leeds, and then United when he had a couple years more on the clock.
What I would say to that is, and they're getting better at it. Luke Shaw is in particular, and Yoro is okay at it. When that happens and they get through that first phase, Shaw did it again a lot more in the second half. He pushes up right to the first man who has it. So that means one of two things. He will pick up a lot of yellow cards because you have to either take him down there or just make sure he doesn't get past you. Or number two, he'll aggressively tackle them. And he's very good at it now. United are a miles better team. Okay, look, the attack's broken down. You go and quickly retrieve the ball. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's Casemiro that does it. I don't care if it's Fernandes that does it. Mainu when he came on against Bournemouth. Luke Shaw in defence. Quickly make that first tackle, that first incision, so they can't transition and counter back. Yeah. But like you said, the problem is they commit a lot of players in attack and they commit a lot of players in the press. But it's risky, and I don't care that it's risky because there's going to be moments like that. It's just One thing that is really intriguing for me, and maybe you can come up with a solution for this or a reasoning or something, is when we were winning, I think they won 4 in 7 or something like that, and it was 3 on the trot, and it was 4 out of 5 games, maybe 3 in 5. He didn't change it then. He's now changed in the last 2 weeks. I've seen more changes in the tactics that intrigue me, that are interesting, probably more so than I ever have in his tenure. Then in that little period where he needed to go a bit risky. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not in the games where we drew to Spurs, we drew to Forest, we drew to Bournemouth, we lost to Everton, we drew to West Ham. I didn't see too many changes. I only saw changes after that. I saw massive tactical changes against Bournemouth, huge. And it kind of ticked me off that nobody asked him about it in a press conference. They banged on about Kobbie Mainoo for 4 questions. And I saw more tactical changes again against Aston Villa. Maybe the only thing I can think of is he's seen that and he's gone, right, okay, I'm just going to change things here. Or he's been pushed in a corner to change things because Mbeumo's gone, Diallo's gone, and Fernandes is injured.
Well, I think it's probably the latter, but we'll see when everyone is back, right? I mean, Bournemouth was interesting because, clearly for parts of that first half, they pushed Yoro very, very wide. Almost looked like a back four, not really, but probably settled down in the second half to more of his normal structure. Against Villa, it was very much the normal structure. We had Dalot and Dorgu wing back. They don't push anywhere near as high and is not as effective in those wide areas, basically. Although Dorgu got an assist for this one. It's a cheap assist, isn't it?
Well, give him the assist.
Well, he got his toe in there. He got the ball. There you go. High turnover again. So, it didn't look wildly different, but some things are working really well. Pressure on the back three creates chances for the opposition again and again and again. And, so they've, if you look at the number of shots against, it's like half of what we were getting under Ten Hag, right? We're not conceding 25 shots against every team, but we are conceding from chances a lot, right? And I think it's enough of a pattern that we can't say, hey, this is just bad luck.
There's improvements that are happening, I feel, and there's maybe something to back, but you're always just kind of going, but still, there's always that niggling feeling a little bit with Amorim just because of various other factors, last season included, but I don't. We're also going to enter a period now where it is just going to be very difficult because all of a sudden, this is where it's squeaky bum time, right? In the winter period, because you deal with injuries, you deal with absences. They've got 3 of their best attackers right now out. They've probably got their best player out. Lisandro Martinez is having to play in central midfield. The one lifeline that we were all going to look forward to, especially the fans, which was Mainoo had no choice but to play but to be in that team. He can't play either because he's injured. So
terrible luck. Let's talk a little bit about Bruno's injury since you mentioned it there and what this might mean. It's hard to understate or overstate how important he is, not just because he's the captain and the kind of talisman that's all a bit cliche, but if you look at his numbers, just incredible numbers for progressive passing, chances created, tackles, interceptions, blocks, like all of it, complete all-round midfielder. You can make some quibbles about his positioning defensively, but that's not going to show up in the numbers. There's no way to replicate that neatly. Kobbie's out, so what does the midfield look like with no Mainoo and no Bruno? Is it Ugarte and Casemiro? Is it Martinez? I do want to talk about Martinez in the 6. How do you cope with your main creative player being out? Do you do something really radical and play Cunha in there and push someone else forward? I don't know what the options are because it's like everything's going to be a compromise from here out.
You could do. Most of the creation in the middle of the pitch is going to come from Cunha dropping now.
Into the pockets, yeah.
I feel like it's weird. It feels like we're Wolverhampton Wanderers under João Pereira, where it's like, oh, hold on, Cunha, you are this team now. Like I was the last, I think, 25 minutes against Villa, I was like, we're only going to score, I think, if Cunha does something. It just didn't feel like anybody else was going to score. Most of the creation will come from him dropping because Mbeumo is not here and he's not going to drop. You could possibly try Mount in there, but I prefer him in that left-hand role because he's getting a lot better at it. We need him in the press as well. I think that it's going to look like, I hope it continues to look like Martinez and Casemiro, but I've got a feeling it'll be Ugarte and Casemiro. Well, why was Ugarte injured? Was he just taken off, I think?
No, it's just terrible. Just truly...
He was terrible. And I'm just not hoping that he was injured or anything. I'm just hoping...
Key tactical insight here. He's shit.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
You got it? Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, got it now.
I think it's I'm being glib and just dumping on him for the sake of it, but
I think
every time he has played this season, he's done a world-class stinker. Every single time. I don't know what it is. It's unfair on him. He's not getting enough game time. He clearly needs a bit more rhythm. Some players need 3 or 4 games to really feel like they're really playing. I mean, you hear this from old pros talking about it. And so maybe there's that. It's unfair on him, but just...
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. There was that sequence where he does this often. He tried to sell a foul when they clearly nicked the ball off of him. That's just pathetic. Like, it's really pathetic. Like, all right, just get up and try and run back. I would love to see Martinez and Casemiro against Newcastle.
We might do. I mean, they're going to have Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, who's on the bench for the last game, so he's fresh. Who's the third one? Joe Linton, or is he injured at the moment, Joe Linton? I can't remember who played against Fulham, but...
They put him on the bench a lot because he doesn't like playing football. He likes to go out there and suplex everybody.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork, then actually drowning. Carol is fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Anyway, they're going to have 1 extra player and they're all going to be fresh. Doesn't half cause a problem for the fact that we've got 0 midfield. So maybe we'll see Martinez in there as well. I don't know how we solve the progression piece from the central midfield. Maybe it's Casemiro plays a little further forward. I mean, he does. It's spray and pray a lot with him in terms of his passing, but he will he will get the ball forward quickly, which is what Amorim wants in there. So, up, back and through sort of thing. And so I guess Casemiro slightly further forward and either Ugarte or Martinez sitting just to clear stuff up.
Yes.
For the second phase of the press, even when they beat the front 3.
Yeah. One good thing might be about that is turnovers again. I can picture both of them mopping up a lot in transition. I can picture both of them. I can picture Martinez making more tackles than what Bruno does. But, however, I can't picture Martinez or Ugarte doing the Modric/Cruz role that Fernandes does, basically effortlessly without breaking a sweat. This guy's so insane. He was he basically pulled a hamstring, knew he had a hammy, and signaled to the bench, "Nah, it's fine, just give it 5 minutes," and then started spraying passes like it was nothing, and then took a corner.
He hit a few with his left foot because the right leg was injured.
He's such a
world class with the left.
Amazing.
As well. The good thing about Martinez in there is that he's a much better passer than Ugarte, right? And so,
Absolutely.
he almost looks like Toni Kroos because he finds really nice angles between the lines. Just a much superior passer. The thing I worry about Martinez in that role is Aston Villa set back. They give him loads and loads of space.
Yeah.
The chances of Newcastle doing that are 0. Like there's no chance Newcastle will give him that much space to play those passes around. And then the other thing I worry about, tell me whether maybe this is nonsense, right?
Yeah.
But Amorim's talked about it before, how much, like, the reason why he likes Bruno in there and not Kobbie Mainoo is he likes a lot of ground coverage. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be physical, but you have to cover all that space, right? And that lateral coverage of space is not Martinez's forte, right? I just don't think I'm pretty sure I remember Amorim answering a question about Martinez in number 6 a few weeks back in a press conference because he asked about whether he could do it. And
I'll have to look that
he was
up.
like, I don't think so, right? I'll have to pick that quote out. But that's the thing I worry about, whether he can actually cover that space. But like until we put him in there against a team that's a bit more aggressive in there, then we won't know. So maybe we'll find out that he can do it.
Yeah. What I would say to that is Bruno sometimes does it as well, but Martinez was doing it against Villa. Maybe because he's a defender or something. The caveat to that, or the solution to that, might be him just going deeper back into the defense. Because he was doing that. And that basically means you can spread the defense wider, and you can also start pinging passes wide. And he's got the absolute talent to do that, and he was doing that. Most of the second half was him pinging it wide to Dogu, because he's got
taking
the
the ball
bravery
off the
for that.
centre of the backs and then as the first pass. I'd like that for him.
Or sometimes not even taking it off the centre backs, sometimes going into where the centre backs are, forming a 4 or a 3, so one other one can push up. In terms of like the press, I know a lot of people have said this to me online. Yeah, I see you, whatever. They said it's a lot different when you get pressed as a central midfielder.
Yeah, it is.
I completely get that. Number one, Martinez is really good under pressure. Number two, the midfield, like it will have space when it goes deep into the defense. Bruno does it as well, and I feel like if we see that against Newcastle, if they don't come to press us, and if they do what Eddie Howe's been doing recently, because he's a little bit of a wuss, I feel. He does this 4-5-1 mid-block thing, because I feel even he's figured out, look, these guys can't press every single game. When they eventually get knackered out and do that, or when they come to Old Trafford and do that, because they're a completely different team away from home, we can then find more spaces and Martinez will pick it out. I just think that it's brilliant that he had it in the middle of the pitch and like almost every pass was forward. Because number one, he knew he could make those passes. And number two, he wasn't afraid to do them. It was quite an underrated performance, I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree with much of the positive assessment of Martinez. I'd still like him in the back 3 as a left-sided centre-back. I mean, as much as Shaw has done okay this season, and he's a good defender and we know his qualities and he's stayed fit and consistent, his passing is nowhere near as good as Martinez's. And here's the quote I was thinking of. A smart player can play anywhere, but midfield is not his position. He can manage it if needed, but it's not natural for him there. He's close to returning to competition. So that was back in November when he was asked about it. So Amorim dismissed it and then played him there. So, maybe Martinez has changed his mind on and then been doing something in training. I think one thing that is interesting to note in the data, if you look at, and this is true for a few other teams that are kind of aggressive in their pressing, 2 things side by side, put them on a chart, right? It's really interesting. Passes per defensive action. So how many passes do you allow the opposition team to have before you engage, right? In a block, a tackle, a press, whatever it is, right? That starts quite low and then starts creeping up through the game as you get tireder. And then the other one is the opposition build-up completion rate. And that will be low and then slides upwards and gets higher through the game as you get tireder. Lay those things side by side. United have a similar problem to, say, Bournemouth, who are very, very aggressive, get tired. Same with Chelsea, actually, as well. And then, so the passes per defensive action starts creeping up, and so does the opposition build-up rate. And you can see you become less effective over time, and you're looking for those numbers to be pretty steady to show that it's not just a physical thing, you know when to do it, right? And anyway, so that's just kind of interesting point about, and it's probably part of the reason why United have dropped off sometimes in second halves as well, in terms of our performances. All right, what other things were notable about this game? Without Mbeumo and Ahmad, a lot more prosaic in terms of the build-up down the right-hand side. How do you think Mount did there in that sort of role? Well, they both drifted, right? It's flexible with Cunha and Mount where they play.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mount is getting better and better now, by the way. I think like we're finally starting to see a good player there. Like his pressing is very good. He knows the role really well. He drops deep a lot. I would like to see him receive the ball though when he drops. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like he does that a lot. It feels like Cunha does that a lot more. I think Šeško had an all right game, but mostly what I think
Not
really
fit,
helped.
is he?
No, it doesn't.
Let's go.
It doesn't
He
feel
missed
like.
two good chances, but he clearly wasn't ready for a full 90.
No, I don't think he's been ready for a full 90 for a while.
Full season,
Actually,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, he came without pre-season, and then he got an injury, and then he got a second injury. I think that's what's going on. He's just had no rhythm at all, and then he got food poisoning. So
There's food poisoning in that, yeah. I think what I really liked against Villa, and they really struggled with this, so they didn't get out of the press that well. And then whenever we attacked, because of the fact that you have Mount in there now, because he's meant to be in the front three, but he's also dropping. It's like you have a midfielder, an extra midfielder, but also an attacker in a way. It meant there was loads of bodies on the edge of the penalty area in like this really awkward space. Šeško, Cunha, Mount, Martinez, and Ugarte, I want to say, before they went off, and then Xerxes as well. When you have so many players close to you in tight little gaps, you can start pinging passes to each other. So I thought that was really good. It just, it feels like there's.
It would be better with Menu in there rather than Ugarte because he would retain the ball. And whereas Ugarte spams it out for a goal kick anytime he tries to play ball further than 5 yards. So.
There's things to get behind, I think. It's a really odd period. I said at the start of the podcast, it's a very odd period because we've had 8 odd games where it's like we didn't win as much as they should have. And the points were there. The points were absolutely there. The chances were absolutely there. They didn't. And now they're heading into a really tough period without some of their biggest players. But then at the same time, you're going, yeah, but he's changed things that I really like in the last 2 games. He played a 4-3-3 against Bournemouth, and that was the best half I've seen Amorim have.
For a half, and then they changed it second half, yeah. It's an interesting period in that, like, Newcastle will be a tough game. They are crap away from home this season. They're conceding way too many goals, but we know that they'll be... They may not press high, but in the mid-block, they will not give you much space in midfield, which Villa did, and so did Bournemouth, and Wolves, particularly Wolves. Then we've got Wolves again. I don't know what to make of Wolves, because when we played them at Molineux, I'd never seen a team give United so much space, ever. It was just crazy,
hilarious.
Suicidal stuff.
That was so funny.
Then they went to Arsenal and put 11 men in their own box and just camped there. Yeah. So what are they going to do at Old Trafford? Are they going to camp in the box like it was against Arsenal, which we've had trouble with? Or are they going to give us loads of space? And it's mad suicidal stuff. But I can't imagine they will give us all that space again.
They will not be as bad as that. That was just we were waiting for them to score.
Then we've got Leeds who are scoring goals, playing pretty well at Ellen Road. I don't know how many of the listeners have been to Ellen Road for a game, but let me tell you, it's a very interesting experience doing that as a United fan. Yeah.
Going to Ellen Road is like playing 5-a-side in the dashing rain, and that guy who's really fast just keeps going past you, and you're like, mate, please, mate, it's please.
They're always up for it, and the crowd are up for it, and they have a special experience there where they love to throw stuff at opposition fans. So yeah.
It's quite a big rivalry, Leeds and Man United. It's always a nasty game.
You're part of the world.
Game.
You're near there. So.
Don't give away people. Don't tell the people of the world where I live.
What's your address? 123 Ellen Road.
That's it. Yeah.
Not quite.
Send some Dominoes.
Yeah. Oh dear, dodgy pizza choice, but yeah, all right.
I mean, no, on like a Friday, on a greasy Friday when it's okay to feel greasy.
Yeah, fine. All right. I make pizza. I have a pizza oven.
Send one across.
It won't be very fresh.
No, I know.
I'm afraid. I can't guarantee it'll be hot when it arrives at your door in 30 minutes. That might be a problem. Yeah. But yeah, tough time. No players available at all because the six or seven injured key players at the moment, or missing key players. So the squad depth is really thin. We had quite a few kids on the bench. We saw, actually, let's talk about this before we go. We saw half an hour Jack Fletcher and 10 minutes of Shea Lacey, or maybe less of Jack Fletcher, 15 minutes. what I like about Jack Fletcher is he's a player who moves the ball really nicely in midfield, right? I would call him a kind of all-rounder. He's not a... They've done some interesting things over the last year with him in that they made him play at left back for a while. I think just to give him some of that feel of like getting pressed by the opposition wide players or having players run at him and knowing where to position himself defensively. So he's a midfielder, right? So that was nice. Left-footed, all-rounder, confident on the ball. And then Che Lacey, who had that one shot and I was like willing it to go in.
Oh,
so,
God, yeah.
Blow at the TV, get in.
Yeah. It's good. I'm glad he took it on. I'm glad they got some minutes. I wish the minutes were at Old Trafford in a way because it felt a little bit, they looked quite nervous, but they're going to be. But I'm all for academy minutes, even if it ends up crap.
I wish he'd come a little bit before, honestly. I thought, you're throwing Che Lacey in desperate times because there's no other option. He'd been on the bench for 4 games and didn't get any minutes, and perhaps there'd been an opportunity before. But Amorim talked about it actually in his post-match press conference, where he was talking about how important the academy is, and we all want players to come through there. It's great as a manager because you get additional players. But I was worried about when to put them in. Fine, it's an acceptable answer. I guess it's much better than throwing them under the bus like he did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm all for academy minutes. We might get to see more academy minutes now that there's more absences. So it's like backs to the wall a little bit and rely on the United ethos. So he's leaning into it. He's leaning into it a little bit. He's even throwing out fiery press conferences, and I like that. So it's I feel as though I don't know. I feel as though there's things to hang on to in the last few weeks, but it might not matter. It might not really matter in the next few weeks because the games are kind of crap. I don't know.
Well, we will see. I mean, lots of interesting stuff, though, from a tactical point of view. So what was good? The pressing was good. The amount they sustained attacks was pretty good against Villa. The out-possession stuff, I worry a little bit about how much pressure it's putting on our back three. Individual mistakes you can point to, for sure. Yoro could have been tighter on probably both those goals. Bruno's a real problem in terms of our creation from central midfield.
Absolutely.
And it's compounded by the fact that we don't even get the Amorim attacking overloads with attacking players in those wide areas, with Mbumo Ahmad out and Dallo Dorgu in the wide areas. And then Martinez as 6, well, we'll see. It would be a very different experience versus Newcastle, I think, to do him there. But that would really test his ability to do it.
Yeah. It's a huge game. It's at the end of the year.
So yeah, it's Newcastle on Boxing Day, Wolves on the 30th, Leeds on the 4th of Jan, and then Burnley on the 7th, and then the cup game against Brighton on the 11th. So it's a busy period. I mean, we've been used to one game a week, and now we've got 2 for a little bit, and then it calms down again. After they will be like, oof, that was a bit much, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's 2 weeks and 4, 5, 6 fixtures there in 2 weeks, and probably, by the sounds of it, no Bruno, no Mainu for both those 2 weeks. Mainu, he was a little more positive on, and obviously, unless something disastrous happens to Cameroon and the Ivory Coast, we'll not be getting some players back in that period either.
Yeah. I mean, you have to cope. This is the Premier League season. You have to find a way to cope. Amorim was absolutely right when he said you have to find solutions.
Yeah.
Those 2 big games going up until the end of the year are huge because we'll get to halfway in the season. So we know we played everybody now. So we'll know plenty about this team, and then we'll know in the second half of the season what it needs to do to improve, and we'll see whether there's anything good to look forward to at the end of the season. So
let's hope so.
Finish the year off well.
All right. Thank you very much, Dharnish. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Patreon.com/NQATpod. If you want to get our extra show, you can also do that on Apple. I'm on Substack at nqatpod.substack.com. I'm writing a piece about Bruno, just how disastrous it is with him out. We'll catch you after the Newcastle game. Like and subscribe and leave a comment if you're on Spotify or YouTube. It helps. We had this little pylon on Spotify where people were like, oh, you're so negative about everything. We were positive in this show. If you don't come on and leave us a comment that says you were really positive on this one, fuck you guys. All right. Bye now.
Brilliant.